Okay, and now we go with the Metropolitan division. I love saying Metropolitan. It makes me feel a little Metro something. All right. Joining me to analyze the division, of course, maybe preview and pick some breakout players. That's also going to be on the website, this episode page, forwardjablamsports.com. Covering from the island is Joe Pantorno, right, Joe? I'm
Close,
screwing up.
Pantorno.
Perfect. Okay. I said it perfectly before. I'm not screwing it now. And you're covering, of course, the Islanders.
Yes, sir.
You are a sports editor at AM New York. You can find him on Twitter at Joe Pantorno. From Raleigh, North Carolina, we've got Andrew Schnittke. He's the managing editor for SB Nations at Canes Country. You can find him on Twitter at aschnitt53. You want to spell that out for everybody, Andrew?
Sure, that's ASCHNITT53.
Boom. 53. We all know why. Canes 53. We all know why. And we've also got Ryan Gilbert. He's on that damn thing as well at our Gilbert SOP. And what does that stand for, people? That's Sons of Penn. Not going to say the real word. And of course, he's a Flyers guy. So Sons of Penn, we all know, means something else. And he's also the editor and NHL writer at Gambling Podcast. Oh my goodness. I'm full of energy. It's the last panel of the week for the first week of the season. It just started yesterday. I'm excited. Are you guys excited of the NHL season, Ryan?
I'm pumped up. We got 2 games last night. Nice appetizer. And we're going to be getting more going as the week moves on here.
Oh my goodness. It's hockey season, folks. And breaking down the teams we cover here. Ryan, you wrote on your article about previewing this division. We're gonna break it down again right now. It's on sportsgamblingpodcast.com. We'll also post it on our game notes for this episode. Again, things that we mentioned here, it's going to be on there. Episode 2, season 7, jablamsports.com. Click on podcasts and for this show specifically, and you'll also get that article. It's a tight division. We all saw the tight division last year in the bubble playoffs. What did they name this division again in the bubble playoffs?
I think it was just the East, right?
No, it was.
Yeah, it was
Or the Mass Mutual Eastern.
The Mass Mutual. I love it. The Mass Mutual. Oh, well, I'm Canadian. Mass Mutual, sure. Well, I don't know the company that well, but of course it's a huge company down there. A Mass Mutual division. And the division's tight. 5 teams are favored to make the playoffs. There's only so few teams that can get in. And the 6th team, as you said in the article, is plus 105. Where do you think the Flyers will end up? And who's probably the odd man out, Ryan?
I'll be your homer here. I do think the Flyers end up making the playoffs. I think they either pull it off with either the 3rd seed or get one of the wild cards there. I think 2 seasons ago, we really saw what the team can do in a regular season. Last season, kind of everything went poorly. So I think the Flyers get back in it and that 3rd spot or a wild card. And like you said, this division is very tight. I think one of the Penguins or Capitals, the time has finally ran out for one of them. You see they have injuries early on with Crosby, Malkin, Ovechkin, Backstrom. Those are kind of the main 4 guys. And if those guys can't stay healthy, I think one of those 2 teams falls out.
Yeah, a lot of people are thinking it's the Caps year to fall out. Oh, man, that's interesting. I do love that commercial with Ovi and Backstrom. Did you guys see that? Oh, my goodness. Ovi's the best. You guys, no. I can't see that with you guys here, right? Ovi's not the best. All right. The guy's amazing. Sorry. Following up on that, just the Islanders seem like the obvious favorite, as the odds say. But who else has the best chance to compete for that, Joe?
I mean, this is the $1 million question here, because really this could potentially be a 5 or 6 horse race for the Metropolitan division. I think it's a testament to how competitive the division is. I also think it's a testament to how a majority of those teams aren't exactly ready to take that next step per se, as in be a legitimate Stanley Cup contender. So I do agree with, I guess, the odds makers. I think the Islanders are the favorite to win the division. I think the Carolina Hurricanes are right there, even though they might have experienced a downgrade in net, potentially on defense as well. And then it's sort of a toss-up. I think, teams 3 through 6 can be interchangeable, where you're right. The Penguins have shaky goaltending. The Capitals are taking a step back, dealing with injuries as well. The Rangers, we're not really sure what we're going to get from them. They have a ton of skill and finesse. Are they going to have the composure in terms of their bottom 6? It's sort of a toss-up. And obviously the Flyers, I mean, they made huge strides on defense. They don't have any shortage of skill in terms of scoring talent. I think Cam Atkinson might be one of the acquisitions of the year, at least in the Metropolitan division. So this is really anybody's race. And again, 6 months from now, if you tell me that any of those teams won the division, I don't think I'd necessarily be surprised.
I want to jump in and get you, Andrew, in here, but you mentioned there, Joe, the Flyers made some interesting changes. You mentioned the forward there, but also that defense, big departures. And I don't know, the Flyers, are they using analytics? Are they using the Flyers? I don't know. Maybe they are, but it seems like it with Ryan Ellis and maybe Rasmus Ristolainen. How will those pairings shape up? And are they that much better now on the blue line, Ryan?
I think they are a ton better now on the blue line. We saw how good a right-handed veteran to go with Ivan Provorov in the top pair with Niskanen 2 seasons ago. They were kind of one of the top pairs there. So I think Ellis and Provorov is going to get right back to it, one of the top pairs. And you have Sanheim, who was kind of shaky last year, had a few bad games against the Rangers, but I think he's still a really good two-way defenseman. You pair Ristolainen with him, who's didn't really do too well in Buffalo, but now he's going to be in a more limited role. Hopefully he can kind of find his game there. And they also brought in Keith Yandel too, who just replaces Shane Gostisbehere, older, more experienced, cheaper. So they brought in a lot of guys on the back end to help out, and should hopefully have a lot better goaltending this season as well.
Before I follow up on you and Andrew, I'm just going to leave you there. Ryan, turn your hat forwards if you have a second. I just want to see how that Flyers hat looks. Very nice, very pretty. I love it. It's clean. I love that logo. I love all the old school logos. I'm sort of the new teams. The Kraken, I will say, I like the away jersey. I like the mix of the different blues. I do like that. But damn, that is a nice jersey. I like it very much. Broad Street, let's go. But I do want to go again with the changes. Last year, the kid between the pipes got a hat. He didn't look that great. Can he rebound? And if he has another bad year, does that mean that he won't live up to the hype?
It's tough because last year it was a different season. The schedule was compressed. There wasn't much time to practice, and Carter Hart really got down on himself and had no time to kind of find himself or even find his game. But as we saw in his first 2 seasons, he put up much better numbers, much better performances. And even last season, after he had that little week layoff to kind of take his mind off the game, he came back and had 3 or 4 real solid games. So I think with the defense in front of him, he is going to be back on top of his game. But as you're asked, if he's not and has another down year, Martin Jones is backing him up. He's kind of getting up there in age too. So if he has another down year, the Flyers might be looking for goaltending next offseason. But hopefully that's not going to be happening.
Oh man, it's going to be an interesting year in Philadelphia. I can bet you that the Liberty Bell is going to be dinging all night long. But Andrew, the Hurricanes extremely favored to keep growing, possibly to get that second spot. I loved in the offseason. I love the tweets. Those damn jerks. The battle with Montreal in the offer sheet. Oh my goodness, it was so much fun. Why was this move the right move for the team to bring in Kasper Kotkaniemi on the short $6.1 million deal? 1 year.
Yeah, I think if you look at what the Hurricanes see in Jesperi Kotkaniemi and the opportunity that they had to get a player, I mean, first of all, look, the Hurricanes had their fun with the the press release, the carbon copy of the Mark Bergevin press release, and the tweets and the $20 signing bonus and all that, because that's what they do. That's their marketing team. That's their brand. That's their social team. That's how they interact with the fans. An NHL team did not go out and give up a first and a third round pick and $6 million for a player solely for revenge. I mean, this is a guy that the Hurricanes wanted. This is a guy who is, 2018, so 3 years removed from being the third overall pick, a guy who everybody saw a lot of potential in that 2018 draft. A guy who I think a lot of people have been really impressed with his skill in training camp, his shot, his playmaking. And I think obviously they gave him, I mean, he's not a $6 million player, but that's how offer sheets work. You have to overpay, or why would the team not just match? And I think the Hurricanes are betting on that potential. They're betting on playing him on the wing, which they've kind of done if you look at guys like Sebastian Aho and Martin Necas, who came in as centers. They tend to play their kids on the wing for their first couple of years in the league, kind of let them grow into that playing center. So that's what they're going to do with Kotkaniemi. I think they're going to play him in the top six. He's played with some different guys throughout camp. I know in practice these past couple days leading up to the season opener, he's been on a line with Sebastian Aho and Martin Necas, which is a pretty good place to put someone if you want them to succeed. And I think obviously too, the Hurricanes are hoping that, if he shows that potential that they see in him, which the other thing you have to remember about that is that 2018 draft, the Hurricanes had the pick before he was taken that they used to select Andrei Svechnikov. So they had a lot of scouting and homework that they had done on him leading into that draft that they could fall back on. But I think they're hoping too that, he'll be eligible in January to sign a long-term extension, that they can make this a long-term relationship. Obviously a little bit more reasonable dollar amount now that they don't have to worry about offer sheeting him. But yeah, I think this is going to be on a team with honestly a plethora of interesting storylines to follow going into the season. This is definitely one of them.
I'll have you on the show later on in the season to break down more. Joe, I got a message. From my pal Rob Taub at the Isles blog. He gave me, and again, you can get everybody here and even more people on our episode page giving me their 1 to 8 for the division and a breakout player. Rob Taub sends me Scott Mayfield. I'm like, what, buddy? Scott Mayfield? What's he going to do this year? What do you think, Scott? Do you think Scott Mayfield's going to really have a big impact on the team? Who's your breakout impact player for this team?
Well, alluding to Scott Mayfield, this is a big year for him because the Islanders, due to their cap crunch, were forced to trade away Nick Leddy to the Detroit Red Wings to get that little bit of relief, which they were able to translate into retaining, I guess, their big boys per se, while also bringing in Zdeno Chara and Zach Parise. But this is the first time in a few years that Scott Mayfield's going to be playing with a different defensive partner. It's also going to be a 38-year-old Andy Green. So there is going to be a little bit more stress on Mayfield to, I guess, display a little bit more consistency, which has been his problem. And it's obviously a pretty difficult ask when you're playing the intense defensive kind of playoff style hockey that the Islanders bring every night. But in terms of my breakout player, I think there are going to be a lot of eyes, and I think a lot of people will agree with me on this, is Oliver Wahlstrom, who looks like he's finally getting sustained time. He's going to be placed on the third line. Given his skill set and the shot that he has, he could be that long-awaited sniper that the Islanders offense has been looking for, especially on the power play and special teams, which has kind of been the crux of this team's Stanley Cup chances over the last 2 seasons. And we really kind of saw it in both Stanley Cup semifinals against the Lightning. If the Islanders even had one little uptick of a better power play, it could be an entirely different story where we're talking about this team potentially repeating as Eastern Conference champions or making multiple consecutive Stanley Cup final appearances other than 2 semifinal appearances. So if Oliver Wahlstrom can come in and kind of provide that offensive spark that the team has been missing, so I guess the rumors of trying to go and get, say, a Vladimir Tarasenko can die down a little bit. that's going to be invaluable for them.
Wow. Yeah, we'll see. Tarasenko, big name, it could be out there. We'll see what he's got left too, like some of the other guys you mentioned. Andrew, I heard Harry Styles is joining the team. Is that true? Is Sebastian Aho and the rest of the team like like Svechnikov? These characters on this team are fun, exciting, of course. That guy too. Is Harry Styles joining the team? What's going on there?
No, I don't. Basically, yeah, what had happened was it first came on. It was actually Martin Necas's Instagram story. I guess Martin Necas is a huge Harry Styles fan. It was funny. We were actually recording our Canes Country podcast when this happened, and somebody posted a screenshot of the Instagram story, and my entire timeline was just in shambles about the whole Martin Necas and Sebastian Aho playing golf with Harry Styles. There were some good jokes on hockey Twitter. That was a good hockey Twitter day, but of course the team jump into it with like the whole Harry Styles huge Caniac thing. I guess he has a song called Carolina that they made a joke about. But yeah, I know Martin Necas went to the concert because there were pictures of him wearing the hat that says like Harry is my friend, I guess, and the Hurricanes gave him a jersey with Styles 21 for the year, which they've often done. PNC Arena hosts a ton of concerts, and they've often done that for performers. Those who can remember the infamous Jeff Skinner, Taylor Swift picture from many years back. But yeah, that was not a crossover that I expected to ever see, but it made for some good content.
It always is. And if you keep that train going, it's always helpful, and all the kids love it. Last but not least, I'm going to get Ryan in here. We saw Travis Konechny improve and get in there, but he's kind of plateaued. Joel Farabee looks like he could be that one. Is he going to plateau? Is he going to keep on getting better? We saw that big contract, $5 million.
Yeah, the Flyers have kind of some center issues right now, but their wings, they're very deep on. They have Travis Konechny, like you said, 2 years ago was really a breakout season for him. All-star appearance. It was like, okay, this is the Konechny we thought we were going to get when we drafted him back in 2015. Then last season, as with the rest of the whole Flyers team, he kind of took a step back a bit. He went long stretches without getting points. He put points up in bunches, then go invisible for a bit. But I think this season, he's back on the top line with Couturier and Giroux. This is a line that had a lot of success 2 years ago. I think he's going to have a big bounce back year. And as far as Farabee is concerned, I am a little bit worried about having kind of a sophomore slump, even though last year was technically a sophomore season. Last year, he put up 20 goals. I think you could see that again in a full 82-game season. Maybe he won't go as high of a goal-scoring pace, but I think Farabee is going to be a good second-line player, maybe top line. There's a lot of mixing and matching there the Flyers can do.
Again, stopping by, gentlemen. You can find him on Twitter at @Gilbert SOP for Ryan, at @Schnitt53 for Andrew, at Joe Pantorno for Joe. Remember, again, if you want to see everyone's breakout picks for their team and their predictions for their division rankings, go to JablamSports.com and go to the episodes page. This was episode 2 for season 7. Gentlemen, again, thank you for stopping by.
Thank you. Always
great to be here.